For you all that know me, you know I'm a dog lover. But I often see instances of other dog owners just being irresponsible. That's gonna be when they're out in the general public and they have their dogs without a leash, or they just let their dogs out the front door with no fence, and that creates the risk of others being bitten by your dog. So once you've been bitten by a dog, you not only have the pain of the bite, the fear of dogs going forward, God forbid you weren't already scared of dogs, but you also have financial burdens of the medical treatment that you have to receive for the dog bite. If you're bitten by a dog, here are 5 tips that I recommend you doing as soon as possible. And yes, that does include taking legal action. Hi, I'm attorney Mark Brown. I'm a personal injury lawyer that's licensed in South Carolina and Georgia, and a large part of my practice does involve dog bites and animal attack incidents. After you've been bitten by a dog, the very first thing you need to do is seek medical treatment. You might need to call 911 if you're unable to get yourself the medical treatment, but if you are able to transport yourself, or if you have someone there that can transport you, get to a hospital emergency room. The dog that bit you could have all kinds of diseases, rabies for instance. Also, depending on the nature and severity of the dog bite, it might require stitches or staples. So you want to get to the hospital so you can get that wound cleaned out and sutures applied as soon as possible. Not to scare anybody, and just to give you a quick example, I unfortunately had a client a while back who was bitten by a dog, and the dog bite seemed pretty minor. It was to her thigh, and she thought she didn't really need medical treatment. She could just put alcohol or some type of antiseptic she used on it. But few days after the bite, it started getting really swollen, really nasty, and it became infected, formed an abscess, and that's pretty nasty stuff. No need to go into that. I'm just trying to tell you, get medical treatment. Even if you don't think you need it and it doesn't look that bad, let a medical expert make that decision for you. While the infection that set in, it caused her to experience a great deal of additional pain above the general dog bite, and had to go through a surgical procedure to drain. It made her medical treatment more costly. It made her experience more pain, more suffering, which is bad for her. It did increase the value of the case, but as an injury lawyer that's helped hundreds, if not thousands of clients, more money is not always the best thing. Everybody wants a windfall and wants to recover and be compensated with lots of money, but some of the pain and treatment that you have to go through to get to that stage, in my opinion, is not always worth it. So it's much better to be safe than to be sorry. Another reason that you really need to get medical treatment is important to get the medical treatment to make sure you're good, make sure everything's okay, but you also need the medical records. Because when you go to make the injury claim with the insurance company, they're gonna wanna know how bad you were injured. If you don't have medical records, were you really that injured? I mean, anytime that you have a serious injury, especially from an animal bite, you would be expected to have medical treatment that documents that injury and documents the complaints and pain that you were experiencing related to that injury. Medical records are extremely important for dog bite cases and any injury case actually. And not to mention, not only for the insurance company, but in case this case does not settle pre-suit and has to go into litigation, you're gonna get your 1 day in court, and those medical records will make sure that you have the best chance for success in the court system. Tip number 2, take pictures, all right? Even if you're not sure that you're gonna take legal action later down the road, it's always important to document. Document. You wanna take pictures of the bite wound before medical treatment. You wanna take pictures during medical treatment. You wanna take pictures after medical treatment. So that's gonna be the initial open wound. That's gonna be the wound after the doctor has cleaned it up and you're in the hospital. And then after stitches or staples or whatever sutures are applied, after they're applied, you wanna get photographs of that too. I also encourage clients to take pictures throughout the healing process and also keep a journal. Every day you're gonna experience pains and aches because of that injury. And let's say you're gonna go to court, all right? Maybe a year, 2 years down the road, it's gonna be hard for you to remember what you experienced day by day. So as long as you have that journal, and when I say journal, I mean, you could write it down or you can just take notes on your cell phone. I mean, it's 2023, come on. But as long as you keep those notes, you will always be able to look back and be able to recall what you were experiencing at that time, okay? Very important. The third tip I would provide would be contact D.H.E.C as soon as possible. That could be on the way to the hospital, or it could be after you leave the hospital, but you definitely want to contact D.H.E.C so that D.H.E.C can come out, speak with the dog owner, make sure that dog is up to date on all shots. You want to make sure they have their rabies shot. That's some nasty stuff. You don't want that. And they also quarantine the dog until the tests come back and the dog tests negative. The other thing D.H.E.C does is they keep a record of every time a report is made about a given animal. So if that dog has a track record of biting, there are some very, very mean chihuahuas out there. I'm telling you. Everybody looks at the pit bulls. You gotta watch out for the chihuahuas. But anyway, there are some very aggressive dogs out there. And if they have a history of repeatedly biting people, those dogs might need to be removed from that household because it's a danger. It's just a danger to the neighborhood and general society. And remember, D.H.E.C is going to handle the dirty work for you, the full investigation, looking into the dog. That way that you can focus on your recovery from the dog bite. And if there is there's legal action going on, your attorney can focus on the legal action versus the investigation on the dog. We just do a Freedom of Information Act request and we get all those documents from D.H.E.C, and that is really going to help your injury case. And my fourth tip is not mandatory, but it will help you in the long run, especially once you decide to file an insurance claim related to the dog bite. And that's going to be speaking with the dog owner, if safe. If the dog owner is like a real jerk, don't go knocking on their door. Don't try to get any information from them, put yourself in danger. But if the dog owner is cool, they're sorry about what happened, you can speak with them and say, hey, can you please provide me with your insurance information? That's going to be their homeowner's insurance if they they own their home, or if they have a mortgage on their home. If they're renting, ask for their renter's insurance, because that's going to be how you recover for a dog bite. So, and the reason why I say this is not mandatory is because once you hire an injury lawyer like myself, we would send a letter to the dog owner and we would ask them to provide that information to us, or to send that letter to their insurance company so their insurance company contacts us. But when you go to speak with the lawyer, if you already have this information, it just makes things that much easier and it makes the process a little faster. The fifth and final tip I have for you, if you've been bitten by a dog, is call an injury lawyer, or better yet, contact me. I would say contact an injury lawyer even if you don't quite believe that the dog bite was serious enough to warrant hiring a lawyer or making an insurance claim. And here's why. In South Carolina, where my office is based, we have what's called strict liability if you're bitten by a dog, or any animal for that matter. That means that if I have a dog and my dog bites you, I'm strictly liable. The only question is, how much money am I responsible for compensating you for your injuries? There are a few defenses to this where a lawyer will explain all the defenses to you and be able to better explain your case, because all of this is very, very case specific. Facts are different in each case. But one defense is if you were the one that provoked the dog. Like if you have a T-bone steak and you're sitting there slapping a pit bull in the head with it, if he bites your hand, that is your fault. And I mean, no one wakes up in the morning like, I really want to sue somebody today. But also, no one wakes up in the morning and says, hey, I think I want to be bitten by a dog. That's not fun. By no means am I saying that you should sue someone anytime their dog bites you. But what I am saying is you should speak with an injury lawyer to at least know your options. It's much better to make an informed decision about your life, about how you want to handle the situation. And again, if you're ever bitten by a dog or attacked by any type of animal, you can always feel free to reach out to me, call my law firm. I'm always here to answer any questions. Just because you call me doesn't mean you need to hire me. I just want to make sure that everybody has all the information available before they make a decision. And I'm gonna go ahead and put a link below with some additional resources on dog bites and how to take action. And if you're thinking about taking legal action after being attacked by a dog or any animal, my team and I will be honored to represent you. There's a link below to my website. We'll see you there.